Guys, welcome back to Tracy's Local Learnings. Today I want to talk to you about off-grid cooking. So cooking on an open fire in a long-term situation. So I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer or anything, but I want people to be prepared to have the best outcome that we can have in a situation where the power goes down or fuels aren't available or the prices have gone up too high to put certain things out of our grasp. So a few years ago, my personal experience, a few years ago, I went into the BC backcountry for 3 months, a little over 3 months, with just me and my 2 dogs. Now, I was set up in a nice camp. I was secure. I had butane stoves and propane stoves and all that. However, I was really trying to learn the skills of cooking without any of that stuff. So I learned a lot. First of all, I learned things that you do not want to have in a long-term off-grid cooking situation. So there's one thing to go camping on the weekend. You know, you grab a Teflon pan, some utensils, a couple pots, your stove, and you're good to go. And, there's no problem with that. However, in a long-term situation, the fuel's going to run out. Again, I'm not trying to be a doomsdayer, just a little bit of a reality check. So then we're going to have to be cooking on an open fire. And open fire cooking is something to get used to, I tell you. So, where am I here? Having the knowledge and the equipment is going to help us maintain calm in an already stressful situation. So if you don't have these things and you don't have the ability, it's going to cause unnecessary stress. So first of all, I'm going to go over the things that you do not want to waste your money on when it comes to preparing yourself for cooking on an open fire. Things that are a no-go. So Teflon. First of all, Teflon puts off toxins at a high heat. It goes into our food, it goes into the air, and it's just not a good thing. I did try cooking on an open fire with Teflon, and the Teflon itself, even on the expensive pans, will bubble up and flake off and go into your food, and basically they're garbage. And that goes along with all the plastic utensils that go with a Teflon pan. If you drop a plastic spatula near the fire and it melts, you no longer have a spatula. So, these are things that you really want to think about and that I had the opportunity to learn. So I would like to share that. So, things that you don't want to waste your money on other than Teflon or anything aluminum. Now, a lot of the camping cookware comes in these like a little aluminum sets. And in a pinch, if that's all you have, you're going to use it. However, again, I avoid aluminum in my household, especially when it comes to cooking, because of the toxic fumes and the toxins that it puts into our body can cause things like Alzheimer's and dementia. And when it comes to tinfoil, there's a lot of uses for tinfoil, but in my opinion, cooking is not one of them. You can make a great tinfoil hat with them, but not cooking. I know a lot of people do the packets where they put their food inside the aluminum foil and they put it by the fire to cook it. And I guess if that's all you had, it would work, but it's not good for your mental health. So, other things that are no good, like I said, is plastic. It's not forgiving. And then the other thing is glass. Glass is good for rehydrating foods. If you have the casserole dishes with the lids on, they're great. You can pour your product into it, pour your hot water, and it's covered. There's no debris, and it'll keep the heat in while it rehydrates. However, again, if you drop glass, it's gone, and then you no longer have that. Which takes me to the next part of what I think the things that you shouldn't invest your money in. So that's power anything that has to be plugged in. And I know some people have solar panels or water lilies or whatever that do produce electricity. However, you're not going to want to be, relying on things like that. So and the butane and propane, they're either going to become out of our price range or impossible to get. So I want people to start looking at cooking on an open fire in a different way. the things that I learned. So my top 5 picks are going to be as follows. The last one is the most important out of everything I'm going to tell you. So stick around to the end. So number 1 is cast iron. Cast iron comes in a variety of sizes and shapes. You can get square ones with the grills marks on it for doing meats and whatnot. There's many different round ones you can get depending on the size of your family or whatever you intend to cook in it. They're a great pan. Now cast iron is still made to this day, but this pan here is over 100 years old. I bought it at a secondhand store for, I don't even remember, it was little money. And the seasoning on it was already great, so I didn't have to re-season it. Now, that's another whole thing, is seasoning cast iron. There's many different ways of doing it. Again, if you're going to be doing it, don't use any PUFA oils because they turn rancid and toxic in our bodies. So, now different things that you can get in cast iron, like depending on the size of your family, you can get big grills with the marks on it or without for doing pancakes or eggs or whatever. And these things, all the cast iron, you can set them right directly into the fire and not worry about it. You don't want them to turn red because they will warp, but you're not gonna make it unusable in any way. One of the things that, first of all, you can get everything. You can get muffin tins and cake pans and everything in cast iron. So baking is still an option, which is excellent. Now, one of the things about cast iron is the handles get really hot because cast iron retains its heat. So I was at a friend's house a couple of years ago, and I saw she crocheted up these cozies for her handles. And this is really great if you know how to crochet. I mean, they're super quick to throw together. They're washable, and you can put them from pan to pan. It's a great thing. You can buy the silicone ones, but if you can make it, why not? It's great. Other things you can get in cast iron is a Dutch oven. Now, a Dutch oven is basically an oven. You can make cornbread, or you could bake a cake in it. You can do so many things in a Dutch oven. A lot of them come with like a metal rounded handle, so you can hang it like on a tripod for that type of cooking situation. But they're super, super great. So a lot of people think that cooking and cleaning cast iron is hard to do. It's really not. Now, like I said, they still make cast iron now, but it's just not the same quality as what they did many, many years ago. This pan will be around long after we're all gone, and the quality of it is great. So when you wash cast iron, you can use water. The reason people say don't use water is because water will rust it. But that means, like, if you leave it in water or you leave water in it for a long period of time, it'll start to rust. And even if that does happen, you can hit it with a stainless steel or a copper scouring pad and knock the rust off, reseal it, and you're still good to go. So that is cast iron. Okay. The other thing that's really important that goes hand in hand with the cast iron is metal utensils. So plastic utensils, like I said, if they melt, they're gone and you don't have them. The metal ones are great. The longer the handle, the better, because we are talking about cooking on an open fire, so you want some distance. You can drop these in the fire, and as long as they cool off, you can grab them, wash them, and still use them. So that's really important. And you can get many different things in stainless steel, many different types of gadgets for your kitchen. So one of the things that's super important is stainless steel tongs. Now, when you're cooking with a Dutch oven, to create that oven environment for baking, you want to put coals or hot wood on top of it, so you get that full baking experience for your product. So these are super handy, and you can move wood around, you can flip your food around with these, and for people that are short, you get to reach up 6 inches and grab something. So these are really super handy. Now, you can use wooden utensils. I mean, of course, Hopefully we're paying enough attention that if the end of the handle starts to get black, we move it in the event that we're paying attention. So yeah, they are an option, and you know, you can make one up if you've got nothing better to do in an awkward situation anyways. So the other thing is the good old potato masher. Now there's a variety of these that you can get in different shapes and sizes. This one is not ideal because it does have the plastic handle on it, so I am still looking to upgrade on this. However, this little gadget was very handy for me when I was in the backcountry. So I made up a washing machine kind of system, which was great for regular, everyday, you know, dirt. But when I had more serious stains on things, this was my agitator. I would just do this until the stain was gone. So it's a multi-purpose tool. The other thing, like I was saying with the Dutch oven, you can actually bake. So if your kid's birthday is coming up and you got a cake mix and you have a Dutch oven, there's only one thing that you need, and that is a manual blender. So this is where it all started, you know, before we had electricity running to our homes. This is what our ancestors used. Now, these are getting harder to find. You can still find them at secondhand stores and whatnot. Unfortunately, especially right now, a lot of this stuff is in secondhand stores with our elderly passing away. But this is a game changer to be able to bake a cake or whatever, right? And then if you have muffin pans, and you know, you can really open up different things that you can use this for. Now, another thing I want to talk about when it comes to utensils is the good old can opener. A lot of us have cans in our preps, you know, and you can go buy, like this one, this is Betty. You can go buy a can opener nowadays, and they're kind of garbage. The plastic handles will break, these handles will break, and the little gears in here strip because they're made out of cheap steel. You can find these old ones. This is called a swing away, and it's probably from, oh, who knows, you know, it's old, but it works like it's brand new. I'm pretty sure you could build a house with nails by hammering it with this and still open a can when you're done. So it's essential. And, you know, any of this stuff, I mean, in stainless steel, you can get measuring cups, measuring spoons, you can get strainers, and all of these things not only are going to be essential for us to have, but they're great barter items, and they don't take up a lot of space. So you could have 3 or 4 sets of these things. So in the event that you need something that guy's got and he needs a can opener, you can barter with things like that, that people haven't thought of. Okay, so now, next thing. When I was in the backcountry, I loved having hot water on my fire all the time, whether it was to wash my hands or to make a cup of tea or to do dishes or to wash my hair. There was many reasons. So I always had hot water on my fire. Now, when I started out, I was using this little pot that I bought at a secondhand store for a couple bucks, and I absolutely love it. It's all stainless steel. It has the lid attached to it, so you're not looking for a lid. It has the little screen built in here, so nothing big can get in, yet you could take your herbs, dandelions, or whatever, throw them in here, make a pot of tea, and it strains it out for you. So it's a really handy little thing. But I did find that even just for myself, it wasn't really enough water. I was like refilling it a lot, waiting for it to heat up. And that's what brings me to my next thing, and that's a big old stainless steel pot. Now, pots come in a variety of different shapes and sizes and quality. This one is thin like a tin can. So it's still going to be a benefit, and it has uses, like you could boil pasta in it, or potatoes, or steam your vegetables or whatnot. But when it comes to actually cooking on this, everything is going to stick and burn on an open fire, and it's going to be a pain in the butt. So you want to look for something with a heavier bottom. Now, like I said, they come in a variety of different sizes. The most important part is the bottom. To have a nice thick plate on the bottom. First of all, your stuff won't burn as easily. Second of all, it'll retain heat. Other benefits of having a big old pot like this with a heavy bottom is in a pinch, if you needed to, say you made a shelter or you have a tent and you need heat, you simply take rocks with your handy dandy tongs and you put hot rocks in here and you put the lid on. Oops. You put the lid on and now you have a heat source that you can move around. Make sure you have something underneath it. If you're in a tent, you don't want to burn your floor. But it's a great heat source. And like I said, with the bottom on it, it's going to retain the heat for a little while, so you have some time. Okay, where was I at? Utensils, pot. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about was being able to build a fire pit or a safe situation where you can cook. So this is where if you have an abundance of cinder blocks or bricks, gardening bricks or whatever, you can build over your fire. You can build a surround for your fire with them, and you can build a place to set your pots on, right? Also, different grates like racks. You can get so many kinds. I have a tripod that has the grate built right into it that just hovers over the fire, and you can put a pot of water on there or you can cook right on it. I absolutely love the tripod setup. Again, you can get them at Cabela's. They charge a fortune for them now, or if you know someone that's handy with metal, you can probably have one made up for you. So that's an option. Other things that you can use is if you have like a little toaster oven, the racks come out, or your oven, or your fridge. Some of the fridge racks have like a painted surface or a plastic coating on them. In that event, you just burn it off first, and then, in a pinch, you could use it. Other things that are super, super handy are you can get them at many dollar stores or like Canadian Tire, is like hot dog sticks, and they have the ones that are shaped like fish, and they have the square ones for burgers. Those are also really good options for open fire cooking. And they're easy. I mean, our kids can use them and whatnot. So my number 5 pick for cooking on an open fire on a long-term situation is to have the ability, knowledge, and equipment available to build a fire. Many people have never built a fire in their life other than flicking a lighter. They don't have a clue. So it's really important that we, first of all, teach our children how to start a basic fire so that they can cook. But different things to do it. So you can literally go to a dollar store. You can buy boxes of matches and lighters and stock up on that. But you can also do things like grab one of the bags of the cotton balls, grab a thing of Vaseline, and you just dip your cotton balls into the Vaseline, nicely coated, throw them into a baggie, and you've got fire starters. Again, you can do the same thing with melted wax and cotton balls, and those are great fire starters. And like I said, if it's windy out or if it's raining or there's snow, these things are going to really help us, first of all, get our fire started and be able to cook for our family. And alongside of that, getting your kids involved and teaching them what trees have dry debris on them, whether it's moss or whether it's bark, different things that we can start a fire with. It's really essential to have that knowledge and to practice it. Practice it with your kids. Get them to start a fire. Make sure that they have that knowledge. Because in the event that we do lose our power and stuff, it's going to be stressful enough without having to learn all these different things while it's happening. And having some of this equipment in our preps ready to go is going to be a game changer, Now, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, okay, so as I said, the cast iron gets hot. You can get many different kind of oven mitts. I've got some silicone ones. This is a Starfrit, and I absolutely love it. I've never felt heat through it. However, it's kind of awkward on my hand, so I'm still looking to upgrade. I just haven't found one that's better than that. I have this one, it's a Cuisinart one. Now, I'm not really sure what the deal with this is, but when I pick up my cast iron pan, I feel the heat. And if I'm holding it too long, it will burn me. So when you're buying these things and getting these things together, it's really important that you try them, and make sure that they work. Because you didn't want to be in a situation where now you have to grab a hot pan and you've got nothing to grab it with. Um, Now, I think I went over the cast iron cleaning. The most important part about cast iron is drying it. Yes, I did go over that. And now you can go out and start to accumulate different things, free firewood off Craigslist, things like that. All of this stuff is available in secondhand stores, at garage sales. So get out there, get the things that you need to make it more comfortable to cook on an open fire. Give yourself that confidence, knowing that you have the stuff to do it, and then learn how to do it. Do a couple practice runs. And cast iron cooking in the house is way better than most anything else I cook in. So it's something really to get together in your preps. Get out to the secondhand stores, get your kids involved, learn some new skills, and even if you never need it, you've got the skills. And like I said, if you can find 5 pairs of these and have them, somebody might need them and you might need what they have. So it's a great bartering item. The other thing is a coffee percolator. I'm big on coffee. I love coffee. So a lot of these are aluminum. You can get the ones that are enamel coated, which they're better. They're okay. So a percolator is basically, you put your water in the container. You take this little lid off. You put your coffee grounds in here, so you don't need the paper baskets or paper filters or whatever. You put it in here. You put your lid on, if I can get it on, and you throw it on the fire. They usually have 2 handles on it so you don't burn yourself when you're pouring. You can either hang it from a tripod or set it directly in the fire. So I actually have one of these that's a little bit bigger and it's stainless steel. However, the glass part of mine broke and I cannot seem to find a replacement for it. So when you see these things out and about, and anything stainless steel, heavy pots, can openers, utensils, cast iron, stock up on them and get them onto your shelf. Like I said, we might not ever use them, but in the event that we no longer have fuel for our stoves or power coming to our house, we're going to be really grateful that we have these things in our preps. So that's it about open fire cooking. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give me a thumbs up. If you learned anything new or beneficial, please share it with your family and friends, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for coming to my channel. Have a good day. Bye-bye.